Driving the McLaren 600 LT is wonderful. It's very beautiful and very fast. Things don't always go according to plan when it comes to filming cool cars. And on this day, the owner of the car, Michael, got pulled over. But not for what you expected. He got pulled over for downshifting next to a police officer and making a big old exhaust pop. So this video is gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna show you guys the pullover, and then right afterwards, if you'd like to stick around, I have a full-blown car review of the McLaren 600 LT and why it's just such a ferocious car. So let's get to it. To give you a reference, Michael just freaking did the biggest afterfire right in front of that cop.
Video from their introduction of the car on YouTube. You can watch it and you can hear it and see it for yourself.
I don't need to see it. I just need your license and registration.
I don't have my license. You really don't believe me?
There's something wrong with it.
There is nothing wrong with it.
What is it? What is it? What do you call it?
It's called D-cell fuel cut. It's not backfiring.
Okay.
So it's what the LT cars do to keep the turbos spooling. Totally street legal, 100% bone stock.
That's fine. All right. Just hang tight for me.
Jesus Christ. Play with fire, Mike.
The good news is this all had a happy ending, with the evidence of the factory literally showing off the feature of this car. The court dismissed the ticket. Anyways, back to our regularly scheduled program. Let's talk about the 600 LT. Guys, I am so thrilled to announce that I am part of eBay Motors Between Two Rides Season 2. Myself, Gears and Gasoline, and Amelia Hartford have an all Honda Civic shootout with my 500 horsepower Civic SI.
Sheesh, that's a lot of power.
Yeah, it's way out of hand. My car is terrifying. Gears and Gasoline's amazing EK Hatch race car build, and Amelia Hartford in the brand new Civic Type R. It's the ultimate Honda shootout, and it was so much fun to film this episode. So make sure to head over to eBay Motors YouTube channel now and check out the episode. The link is in my description box. Gotta do the dramatic door open. I'm like so cool. Thanks, bro. Hi, and welcome to the McLaren 600 LT. That is an NSX Type S I just got out of. Huge thanks to Michael, who's driving that right now, who has both of these cars. Here is his Instagram right here. So, here we are, 600 LT. If you don't know a lot about McLarens, totally understand. Exotic cars can be kind of a weird thing on this channel sometimes because I usually drive tuner cars, but it's a treat, and I'm not gonna lie. Would you say no? Now recently, I just drove a McLaren MP4-12C. Yes, I know, the greatest name of a car of all time. But that was essentially the rough draft of one of these. Because the way it worked was the MP4, then it was like the 650S. There was the 570S, which this is probably the closest resemblance to. The taillights in the back changed, but the carbon fiber monocoque has stayed very similar. And this 3.8 liter twin turbo V8 is also very similar to what the MP4 was, but basically upgraded over time. Now, what's really good about McLaren is the number in front of whatever it says afterwards, that is the horsepower to the crank. So if a 600 LT, meaning long tail, has 600, it has basically 600 horsepower. Oh God, hits you like a freaking freight train. This has like 592, so it's close. And 457 foot-pounds of torque. Now the 600 LT is arguably my favorite McLaren. It's pretty close because I'm a madman and I got to drive the 765 LT off camera one time, and it is so so fast. I just stuttered because of that. I've also driven the 720S, but believe it or not, I actually found the 600 LT more fun to drive than the 720S, even though the 720S has 700 horsepower. This thing feels like you're so low to the ground. I'm in McLaren Senna seats, by the way. These carbon seats are straight from the McLaren Senna. I went to Silverstone in the UK. That's where I drove the 720 the first time. And the 600 was what I wanted to keep driving. The instructors at McLaren were sliding them around, having a good time. But then when you drove the 720, you had to have more of a serious face. This is more of like the silly one or the fun one. It feels much more like a go-kart. Also, the sound that the 600 LT makes is like a tuner car with twin turbos on it, combined with the chassis and monocoque of a supercar. So you get that tuner car sound, but the refinement of McLaren. Oh yeah. Yes! Listen to that backfire. Holy crap. Or afterfire if you're a stickler or whatever. Oh my god. Oh, that sounds awesome! Yeah, buddy! Let's go! Oh my god, this makes you go full mad scientist. That was amazing. God, it hits you so hard. I'm catching up to traffic so fast. Big towing this thing. And I'd like to announce the most fun downshifting supercar on the market goes to LT. I'd like to thank the Academy for burbles that don't sound like crap. Also, the paddle shifters, these little carbon paddle shifters, very satisfying to hit. And they also have feedback to where if one side you push down on, the other side like seesaws basically. So you know exactly if you're hitting it or not. Another thing too is the entire interior is basically suede. There is leather on the door cards and carbon fiber on the speakers right here. But overall, it's a very nice place to be. You sit very nice and low to the ground. And also the 600 LT feels raw. That's the other thing about it. It has a rawness to it. I'm in track mode right now, and it gurgles and it pops. And the exhaust coming out of the top very much reminds me of a Porsche 918. I've always loved exhaust exits that go straight out of the top. I think that's so freaking cool. Kind of gives it that supercar vibe, because you don't really see it anywhere else. It's like a hood exit, but done properly. Also, the 600 LT has a really nice turn-in. You have some nice weight behind the steering wheel, and that's also another thing. I actually got to see these 600 LTs be built at the McLaren factory, and they estimate it's around 250 hours per car. So there's a lot of hand craftsmanship in these things. And also, other than Porsche, I would say this probably has the best visibility out of a low supercar. Also, the digital dash is really great because it has a very traditional looking shift light at the top above your gear changes. Along with that, you have your speedo, it's about that big, your gear, which is that big, and then on the right you have your tire temperatures, your pressures, all that good stuff. Man, this thing just wants to go at all times. I just got out of the Indus Type S, which I actually find to be a fantastic car. But this thing also has a little bit more rawness to it. It's a little bit more intense of an experience. So if you're like me and you like really crazy stuff, you would like the 600 LT. Even if you were more of like a tuner guy and you're not into exotic cars, you would really struggle not liking this thing. This thing is awesome. What's really cool too is when McLaren came out with the P1, they realized that the front end of that car looked really, really good. And they're like, wait a minute, why don't we just do variations of this on our cars? Because the 12C was always considered kind of boring in the front. And that's why they decided, yeah, let's just kind of adapt this and change things around with each model. And sure, to the untrained eye, they all kind of look the same. But in my opinion, it was the right move for sure. So the McLaren 600 LT, when it comes to only having a very small amount of seat time and just saying, what do I think of it? This and the 765 are my favorite McLarens. I've never driven a P1, and for obvious reasons. But then you're gonna say, well, David, you drove a 918. Well, that was a once in a lifetime opportunity. Other than that, guys, what do you think about the 600 LT? Is it your favorite McLaren, or would you take a different supercar over this? If not, if you've never seen this car before in person, I hope you got kind of the sights and sounds of what this thing's like, because it just sounds so spectacular for a V8. For a V8 twin turbo, it doesn't feel numb whatsoever. It feels raw, and this supercar doesn't take the tuner car isms of being almost a little scary in one way and taking it as an advantage. This is a really fun car. I mean, it's an absolutely fun, I mean, okay, it should be for how much it is, but you know what I'm trying to say. I think it's miles ahead of the 570S. The 570S is still a good car, but this just takes that and turns it up to 11. And on that note, I upload on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. And I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy. Once again, thanks, Michael. I really appreciate it. And I hope all of you have a fantastic day and take it easy. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.